you do have audio. Yeah. Welcome to Dominico Field. Thomas West alongside Carlos Verdi tonight. Carlos doing a little professional baseball himself and playing some university baseball as well. Carlos, fantastic to have you on the broadcast tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Really looking forward to this one between the Leafs and the visiting Kitchener Panthers. And one thing you want to see from the Leafs is really just getting on them early. I mean, this is a Panthers team that has given up a boatload of runs the last couple of times out. Obviously rained out on Sunday, I believe it was. But you want to see good, clean first inning from Diego Dominguez up there on the mound. So far, so good. He's going to sit high 80s. Off-speed stuff's going to be 72 to 74. And first pitch strikes are a real key for him as he looks to find a place to play this September.
Yeah, big guy standing out there, watching him warm it up in the bullpen. Man, is he ever an imposing presence on the mound? And anytime you got a fastball up there around 90 miles an hour, that'll play here in the Inter-County Baseball League. It's the Kitchener Panthers in town tonight, taking on the Maple Leafs, and two teams at a little bit of the opposite end of the standings, as this one's hammered out there into left field. Shading over to left field. He comes over fighting the sun and makes the catch one away.
Yeah, for Dominguez, it's really going to be about first pitch strikes tonight, as it is for any young pitcher. You don't want to get behind. The Panthers do have a couple of bats that can scare you. You look at Marsden. You look at, obviously, Andy Leader, the center fielder, batting third. This is a Panthers team that has some pop. There's no doubt about it. But I think Dominguez definitely has the stuff to keep them at bay tonight and keep this 4-game streak going for the Leafs.
First pitch in there for a strike from Diego Dominguez, and he'll mix in some off speed as well. He's got a changeup and sort of a curve slurve pitch. There it is right there, swing and a miss. Way out in front was Grinberg.
Grinberg's off to a pretty good start this season, though, for the Panthers. He's provided a bit of pop out of that catcher spot in the lineup, and curious if it'll continue.
Here's a ball flied into the outfield. Brady Sikornik is going to come over. That's Carrington. He makes the catch, or it was able to make the catch. Something fell. It was a hat out there in the outfield, 2 away, and a good start for Diego Dominguez.
And here's a big test for him. Andy Leader, obviously a well-known quantity in the IBL here, and guy that can hurt you from the right side of the plate. Dominguez is going to want to try and keep things away from the Kitchener center fielder here.
Leader goes after the first pitch and floats one into the outfield, but right there's the second baseman to make the catch. That's Aiden McCaskey tonight in a clean inning. Less than 10 pitches for Diego Dominguez. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and the bats for the Maple Leafs coming up. Welcome back to Dominico Field as Jose Vinicio leads things off, and it's Jacob Douglas, the pitcher for the Kitchener Rangers. Man, has he ever been good this year? Hasn't allowed a run yet, 1-0 record. But pitched in just 10 innings, a small sample size, and coming up against a Toronto Maple Leafs offense that is, well, they can swing it with the best of them here in the IBL.
Absolutely excited to see Douglas here for the first time in IBL play. Garden City Community College by way of Fort Hays State, so a well-traveled right-hander, 6 foot, 205. Excited to see what he brings from the right side.
And Jose Vinicio, the batter as well, and he's a big part of why you're here today. You're doing a story on Jose Vinicio?
Yeah, why not? One of the more well-traveled guys to don the Maple Leafs white and blue, and a soft-spoken young man from Santo Domingo.
And there's a base hit up the middle. It's been a little bit of a struggle with the bat early on for Jose Vinicio, but we know he has excellent bat-to-ball skills. I'm wondering what you got out of the interview with Jose Vinicio.
Well, he's happy to be here. He hasn't played any semblance of competitive baseball, I don't think, since 2018 when he was released by the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he's happy to be here, loves the city of Toronto, and, like most import Latin American players in this league, I think he sees this as a stepping stone. And so far, well, the bat hasn't quite been there, but he's fast. He's good defensively. You can be sure that teams in the Pecos League, Frontier League, somebody like the Ottawa Titans will keep an eye on an import like that, but he's certainly going to need to bat better than 167 to get back to pro ball.
Justin Mara takes in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Pitch from Jacob Douglas is low, 1-1. And Jose Venicio's got a ton of speed. We know that. Always a base-stealing threat, especially with a righty on the mound. There's a pretty good chance he's going to take a shot at second base here. Swing and a miss by Justin Mara. You see him way out in front of that breaking ball. That's been something that's been a bit of an issue for Justin Mara early in the season, but he did get his first home run back on Sunday. That was part of that win against the Brantford Red Sox. Swung wildly out in front of two breaking balls and then hit the third one well over the fence. There goes Venicio, line shot. It's on a hop. They're going to stay out of the double play. Mara is thrown out at first base. And that's good base running to stay out of the double play there by Venicio.
Yeah, Venicio was running on the play, and obviously I think a hit and run was on there. Mara just stuck the bat out. Wasn't necessarily a full swing and put it on a one bounce to the second baseman. But interesting you mentioned the Brantford Red Sox. So my first introduction to this league was the Brantford Red Sox dynasties of 10, 12 years ago, coming up to Ottawa, playing the Fat Cats in the league final. That was my first exposure to the IBL. Seeing the Brantford Red Sox 0-10 with 70 total bases through 10 games. I mean, I haven't followed the league in quite some time, but pretty remarkable to see one of the league's flagship franchises struggling so mightily out of the gate this season.
Yeah, they made the playoffs last year and had a little bit of a run, eliminated in the first round. But Brantford they got a little bit of a pitching issue on their hands, and that's something that we haven't seen from the Toronto Maple Leafs this year. There's guys like Zach Sloan who have been excellent. Dustin Richardson will always be fantastic coming to the back end, and then the import pitchers like Diego Dominguez, the guy you see on the mound today. So we'll see how he does. But man, last year having no imports coming in or very little imports coming in with COVID. Here's a ball hit down the left field line, and that one's going to go foul. Jordan Castaldo just about down the left field line for an RBI single with the great speed of Jose Venicio. But you see the imports coming in this year, and a lot of them really help out with the pitching woes that some of those teams were having last year.
Oh, I mean, you see what teams like London and Welland are doing, and what they're doing is propelling this league to new heights in terms of the import talent that we're seeing. I don't think the caliber of import in the IBL has ever been as good as it is in 2022. I mean, you look at some of the pitching, some of the hitting.
There really goes Venicio, swing and a miss, and Jose Venicio steals third base, but Jordan Castaldo swings and misses, so 2 away.
Yeah, a bit of a gutsy call there, and I'm assuming that was the signal, but, you never want to be thrown out at third, and frankly, with 2 away here, that extra base isn't going to do a whole lot for you now with 2 down, but regardless, Venicio pads the stats, and good to see him on base here in the bottom half of the first, and nice to see the Leafs cash in.
I don't think there's anyone else in maybe all of the IBL that you'd want to see on base other than Jose Venicio. That great speed. John Salazzo's the batter now, facing the big righty. And Salazzo, another guy who's trying to get things going with the bat. Hasn't hit below 300 since back in the 2018 season. Then you have to go way back to the early 2010s to find a season that Jordan Castaldo did not hit 300, but he's below that right now, and I think the bat will come around. Jacob Douglas looks in. Here's the pitch. Just outside, ball 2.
He wanted that one, too. Little extra look, little shake of the head. But, look, when you're a pitcher at Christie Pitts, I can attest, small ballpark, you want every one of those calls on the black of the plate.
And if you can see the flags out there in center field, they're going straight out. Swing and a miss, 2-2. That'll help that the big bats in the middle of the order with Jordan Castaldo and Justin Mara and the guy you see right now and John Salazzo.
Certainly some big bats, capable bats through the middle of this Leafs order, and regardless of whether they're playing at the pits or not, they can put the bat on the ball.
Here's a ball hit on the ground to the shortstop, a throw onto first, just in time to get John Salazzo. And the Kitchener Panthers escape the danger, and Jose Venicio, who was on base. We head to the second inning at Christie Pitts and Dominico Field. Keegan Marsden leads things off for the Kitchener Panthers. It's still 0-0 after one inning, and Diego Dominguez is coming back out for his second inning of work. Jose Vinicio had a single in the first inning, but that's all so far. First pitch from Dominguez is outside.
The other thing, too, we were talking about it with Brantford struggling out of the gate, is that really negates any kind of playoff race with the current IBL playoff format. So
here's the ball lifted out into center field. Coming over is Greg Carrington to make a nice running catch, one away.
So what that ends up doing is teams like Hamilton and Kitchener, where if it was a 6-team playoff, which I think would probably make maybe a little more sense than the current 7-team setup, you'd end up having a playoff race. Whereas right now it looks like Brantford's going to maybe get to 3 or 4 wins this year, and Hamilton and Kitchener should both be good for about 10 each. So you just wonder about the format.
Yeah, the playoff race right now in the IBL is you want to get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Especially because you're looking at it's pitching, right? The 1 seed, you're going to see those really strong pitchers, and especially in playoffs, that's accentuated quite a bit. Gauthier is the batter now. He fouls one off, but I think the Toronto Maple Leafs are one of those teams that's probably pushing the number 1 spot. It looks like them and the London Majors, once again, are 2 of the top teams in the league, and wouldn't be surprised to see them meeting each other late in a playoff round like they did last season.
Don't discount the Welland Jackfish, though. I mean, you look at what Ryan Harrison and the ownership group are doing there, and the players that they're bringing in, the fans they're drawing, the promotional nights they're running. That really is, as far as expansion teams go, that's as good as it gets right now.
Ball hit on the ground. Can of corn for Aiden McCaskey, who throws on to Castaldo. And now there's 2 away, and great start for Dominguez.
If I had to guess, though, I would say that 2 of the 3 finalists this year in the IBL are almost definitely going to come out of that trio. Unless Guelph kind of comes out of nowhere, it's really tough to see anybody besting London Welland or, of course, our Maple Leafs.
So Gauthier grounds out, and it's Stephen Whalen who rips one fouled on the left side. Stephen Whalen comes into this game hitting .281, one of the higher average guys on the team, and still a dangerous bat, although being in the 7th spot in the order. Whalen, the shortstop tonight for the Kitchener Panthers.
Tough midweek game, too, for the Panthers. You see them rolling into town on the Rangers OHL bus at 6:40. They're battling traffic to get down here. You talk about tough away days. There's some tough midweek games in the IBL, especially for teams like a Toronto, like a Welland that maybe find themselves on sort of the extremity of the league's map. This would be a gutsy road performance if the Panthers can stay in this game, in my books.
Yeah, Kitchener's had their issues this season, but they're a team that's always been able to hang around. And I mean, you look at the guy on the mound for them tonight, that might be a big success story for them this season.
Well, pitching is everything. Starting pitching is everything in this league.
Outside ball 4, Stephen Whalen heads down to first base.
First sign of trouble for Dominguez as well here. I'd like to see him finish over that front leg a little bit more. He was kind of dragging the arm there, missed high on the last 2 pitches of that at bat, and certainly has the stuff. Really curious to see where he's going to land. He's got some good tape so far this season with the Maple Leafs here in the IBL, and time will tell. But he's going to be playing somewhere in September. Really interested to see where it's going to be.
A lot of these young players pushing to play Division I, Division II in the USA, swing and a miss. AJ Karasis is the batter. Just 7 at-bats so far this year. He struck out in 3 of them, hitting just 143. And a guy who hasn't spent a ton of time in the lineup, but especially for these guys in the 7, 8, 9 spots, it's sometimes about playing time. Karasis has a strike on him. The pitch is right over the outside corner, strike 2.
Yeah, that's where you want to live if you're Dominguez, especially against the bottom half of this order. You want to steer away from the power spots if they have power spots. You never know what the bottom half of an IBL roster, but right there, you're never going to get hurt living on the outside black against the 6, 7, 8 hitter usually.
2 strikes on AJ Karasis. Breaking ball hit on the ground. This could be 2, or I guess they just need 1. Throw on to first base. Aiden McCaskey makes it look easy again. The Maple Leafs set down the Kitchener Panthers and head to the bottom with the big bats of the Toronto Maple Leafs coming up. Welcome back to Dominico Field. Luca Boscareno starts things off for the Maple Leafs and hits one up the middle, and that one's going to get through. The 6th hit of the year for Luca Boscareno. And a good start for the Maple Leafs, who may have something cooking with the bottom of the order coming up in the bottom of the 2nd. Thomas West here alongside Carlos Verdi. He's joining us on the broadcast tonight. The 2nd hit against Douglas, both of them going right back up the middle.
That's a dangerous pitch there, too. I mean, he's throwing something a little off speed right down the pipe. I know you need that strike and you want to keep the hitter off balance, but you can't throw that against the 3-4-5 hitter.
This is Aiden McCaskey, hit a 2-run home run as part of a blowout win. Now he hits a high chopper on the ground, and it's going to get by the second baseman. Everyone's safe. And now there's 2 aboard with nobody out for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 2nd.
We'll call that a Pitts bounce. Second baseman probably could have come in a little harder on that ball, and it just seemed like that last hop up over his head took him a little bit by surprise. And, well, some great walk-up songs tonight. Well, Katy Perry.
I wish I'd tracked the audio when we had Came In Like a Wrecking Ball. That's a great song by Aiden McCaskey, and you know they're having a whole bunch of fun of that back in the locker room as well. This one's popped up. It's hooking, trying to get out of the play, but it's going to stay fair. Tagging is the runner at second base. Here's the throw to third. It's cut off. 1st and 3rd now with 1 out, and productive at bat from Brady Sikornik. And it brings up Damon Toppoli, who is somewhat of an oddity in the IBL. He manages the team and does a whole lot of the work behind the scenes, but he also hits bombs.
He does. I was having a laugh with my buddy Mike Nellis. Both of us started out with the Fat Cats when we were like 15, 16 years old in this league 10, 12 years ago. We're looking at it going, Damon Toppoli's still in the league, and he's still a productive player. Now, he doesn't play every day necessarily anymore, Thomas, but I mean, it's remarkable that this guy still hits and hits pretty well. Average is a little lower than usual this year, but he's been a consistent 300 couple bombs guy for the last 4 or 5 years.
It's hard to look at a guy like Damon Toppoli and say, oh, he's in a slump. He's always going to be a good hitter. He flares one into the outfield. This may be enough to get the run home. That's smart hitting there. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off once again, and the Maple Leafs are out in front 1-0 as Damon Toppoli cashes in an RBI, and that's just veteran smart hitting right there, able to dish that one to the outfield and get the run home.
Yeah, and Douglas is going to hate that because it's just a chintzy little stick the bat out over the outer half of the plate, dump it into right, and that's the second throw we've seen this inning from Narabecki, where it's pretty clear that he just doesn't have much of an arm in right field, and frankly, that throw to third base was cut by the second baseman. It's tough, but if you're the Leafs, you know that you're scoring on that all day. If a ball's hit to right field fairly hard, you're still sending an average runner.
Hot shot on the ground to third, throw over to first base. Karasis gets the speedy runner at first. That's Greg Carrington. But the Maple Leafs score 1 against the Kitchener Panthers and now lead 1-0. And Dominguez trying to stay hot, coming out for his third inning of work from Thomas West. And Carlos Verde here at Dominico Field. We'll be right back. Steven Narabecki leading things off. The first pitch is just outside from Diego Dominguez, who's looked real good in his home debut here at Dominico Field. Steven Narabecki has an average sitting around 200 this year, but just 10 at-bats, so extremely small sample size. Another one of those guys who's trying to find his way into the lineup here with the Kitchener Panthers.
Weeknight game, too, for the Panthers, so you never know who's missing for non-baseball reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables in the IBL, and I mean, it's the only league really where you're going to see people like the manager going out there and DHing from day to day. But if you look down at the Maple Leafs dugout, man, like there's two guys.
Yeah, they got two guys. They got about 4 pitchers down the line in the bullpen tonight. And, it's interesting because I remember the IBL. I remember the IBL in that 2010, 2011, 2012 era. The teams come to Ottawa, and they'd have everyone because it was an away day. It was a hotel. You were playing in front of 2,000 people. They'd always come to Ottawa with their best when maybe they didn't when they came to Toronto or London or Guelph. You know what I mean?
Just outside ball 4, second walk of the game so far for Dominguez.
Notable that he's left 3 fastballs high here over his last three hitters he's faced, and just wonder if he's not quite finishing over that front leg. But he's certainly got the stuff, Thomas. There's very little doubt about that. Anytime you can run your fastball up in that mid-high 80s range consistently, he'll get some looks for sure for the fall.
And the speed changes between the pitches too. as long as he's able to disguise the curveball, the changeup, or really any breaking ball that he decides to develop over the course of this season, it's 15 miles an hour slower than the fastball. And you can tell from up here, we don't have any kind of a radar gun or anything like that. We don't really have the best perspective on the plate either, but you can tell the pitch speeds are a lot slower, and I can't imagine how much that would throw off the timing of a hitter.
He's thrown a couple curveballs that are good 15, 17 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
There's a good fastball over the outside corner.
It's the second or third time he's done that tonight, Thomas, just barreling down that four-seam over the outside edge against a lefty. And anytime you're behind an account, that's usually a pretty safe place to put the fastball, right on that outer edge, especially if you're getting that call.
DiClemente is the batter. Sitting the 9-hitter, and then Jacquelin's on deck. Here's a ground ball to first. Castaldo thought he had it. Now a throw on to first base and got him. What a play by Aiden McCaskey to come over, pick up his veteran teammate in Jordan Castaldo. And although that looked like it could be a double play ground ball, it ends up being an out nevertheless. Now there's a runner on second base and back to the top of the order for Jacqueline.
Yeah, a bit of a tough play for Castaldo there. Just kind of ate him up right on the edge of the grass where it meets the dirt, and seen a number of those over the years. Nice job to keep it in front of him and salvage an out. Always good to see that.
Blake Jacqueline hitting .273 this year, 6 RBIs. Struck out just 7 times and it's 32 at-bats. Here's a pickoff play back to second. Not quite in time. Jose Vinicio thought they might have had him and gives props to pitcher Dominguez. That was very close there with Narabecki just getting back in time.
Yeah, that was a tasty little move over the glove side shoulder. Some righties will swing over, obviously, with the leg. That's their preferred move, but that was quick, just like he was going to first.
Runner on second base. Here's the pitch. The bunt is on. It's up the third base line, but well foul. So what do you mean by swinging the leg back to second base?
So swinging the leg back, so there's 2 pickoff moves, right, when you're going to second base. One is that quick turn glove side where you're guaranteed to throw it. Other guys, especially righties that have a higher leg kick, Thomas, what they'll end up doing is they'll bring it up top as though they're going home, and then they'll just keep swinging that leg over, planting, and they'll try and catch that base runner asleep or even taking a secondary lead if he's really snoozing out there at second. Not a move you see work too often, but they also have the option to not necessarily throw. They're just stepping off.
2 strikes now on Jacqueline. Here's the pitch. It's just outside. Narabecki still taking a huge secondary lead off second base.
It is real neat to see a guy like Jose Vinicio out there at shortstop for the Maple Leafs, playing in this league at age 28, everywhere he's been, all over the lower minors, as high as AAA with Pawtucket, and now he's here at Christie Pitts.
Yeah, incredible how a career can turn. Here's a line drive into the outfield. This could score a run. Steaming around third base is Narabecki. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's cut off, but they are going to get the runner at a rundown at second base, and Jose Vinicio tumbling over Jacqueline. And the game is now tied 1-1, but the Maple Leafs early on in this game, and with the kind of offense they have, they'll trade an out for a run if they have to.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of hitting there from Jacqueline as he just drove that into the right center gap just over the second baseman. That's going to bring up Grinberg, who, again, I'm really excited to see. This guy's been absolutely crushing the baseball to start the season in the IBL, providing some good defense back behind home plate, too, for Coach Don and the Panthers.
Yeah, just 14 at-bats, but he's got a hit in 7 of them.
How's that for an average?
It's 500.
Sounds like my co-ed softball league on Lakeshore.
Yeah, the ball might be looking a little bit bigger right now to Grinberg. Takes low.
Dominguez has been missing quite a bit with his fastball here so far tonight, Thomas. And again, I'm not sure if it's a consistency thing, getting over that front leg, keeping that front shoulder closed, but he's missed high and he's missed low quite a bit.
Missing up in the zone right now, and that time he misses low. Missing up in the zone right might be a little bit worse than missing down in the zone, especially on a day like today with the small field. The flag's now blowing pretty heavily out to dead center field, but shading a little bit, and all of these power left-handed bats, as there's a great breaking ball swinging a miss.
Grinberg was seeing the home run total go up by 1 there, and his head was staring at the Little League game and right while the ball crossed home plate.
we've seen balls hit out there to that little league game. They are, especially when guys like Justin Mara and John Salazzo, it's a hazard.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a kid playing left field right now in that Little League diamond, and he's about 305, maybe 310 from home plate. I would be concerned if I was that coach. He needs a spotter.
Dominguez misses ball 4 once again. Heading down to first base is Grinberg. He takes the walk, and then the two-way IBL legend Andy Leader comes up, the Kitchener, Ontario native.
Gotta love the no gloves. Jorge Posada-esque out here, leading this Panthers team to a 4-5 record coming into tonight. But if they are going to put something together in the playoffs, it's going to start with Leader.
He has a sample size of at-bats as well. He's got 33, hitting .382, 8 RBIs, just 6 strikeouts as well.
Speaking of sample size, I was talking with Mike, laughing about some of the old names still around the IBL earlier this week when I knew I was going to be doing this game. And Damon Topley has 1,300 career at-bats in a league that averages about a 40-game season. That is remarkable.
You know who's the all-time leader in IBL hits?
Who?
Damon Topley.
There you go. There you have it.
Lots of at-bats, but you always hit for a high average as well.
And don't kid yourself, that left center gap, I know it's tough to pull one out there, but those skaters got to be heads up here when the IBL comes to town.
Especially when we had a guy like Sean Riley last year. He loved to hit that ball out to center field. We saw some moonshot home runs from him. There's still guys with that big power. There's a breaking ball that misses well high from Dominguez, and maybe having a little bit of trouble, as you mentioned, finding the zone right now.
Yeah, and again, I'm just not sure if he's clearing that front leg, but he's definitely missing high. And at first, it was just his fastball. He was still able to throw the change and curve for strikes, but he's missed with the last 2 curves as well. Got to keep an eye on this, Thomas.
It's the 3rd inning of work for Dominguez, and here's one smashed out to center field. Going back is Carrington, and that one's off of the light stand and gone. A mammoth home run for Andy Leader. And the Kitchener Panthers are out front 3-1.
Well, you fall behind to a guy like Leader in that 3 spot in the lineup, and what's he going to do? He's going to Posada that one right out of here. Took the fastball high in the zone. Definitely a miss from Dominguez. Not where you want to put the fastball against Kitchener's best hitter. And quickly, there's going to be some action in the Maple Leafs bullpen, rightfully so, as Dominguez just hasn't had it the last 2 innings, Thomas. He's been battling, but you can't fall behind good hitters. You can't fall behind Marsden. You can't fall behind Leader. They will make you pay. So long chat here for Top, and we'll see how much longer Dominguez is able to grind his way through this start.
Yeah, every night in the IBL, you need that starter to go as many innings as you possibly can. And the pitch count is starting to get up there a little bit now for Dominguez. 26 strikes, 18 balls.
See how he bounces back from this here, Thomas. Another good hitter in the box.
Here's a ground ball to second base. It should get him out of the inning. Benicio throws on to first, and it will. So bouncing back to get the 3rd out, but 3 runs in the inning, including a massive 2-run home run from Andy Leader. And the Kitchener Panthers lead 3-1 over the Maple Leafs as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Back to the top of the order, Jose Vinicio here at Dominico Field. Now 3-1 for the Kitchener Panthers after that 2-run home run by Andy Leader, and Jose Vinicio was able to shoot one up the middle for a single and his first at-bat. And now he shoots one to the right side, but this is an easy play over at first for Keegan Marsden, one away.
Yeah, a bit of a chase from Vinicio there. First pitch looking and just kind of threw the barrel of the bat out over the outer half of the plate. Don't love that AB from the leadoff, man. I don't think Propoly's going to like it either. We do have action down in the down the third base line in the Leafs pen. Not entirely sure who it is. The small lefty. We'll get a number on that shortly as a bird flies into the broadcast booth. But
yeah, I was worried.
Dodging all kinds of bullets out here. Steve H on the cast. We would like a beer. Thank you.
You didn't even flinch when he came in there. He was coming right for me.
Buddy, I've broadcasted games out of the back of a pickup truck in Alberta. Nothing phases me.
I'll be honest. I thought the first thing that was going to fly in here would be a baseball, but that has not happened.
We had a foul ball come about 10 feet left back in the top of the second. That's as close as it's come.
They've come close. I've seen foul balls to interesting things here. Here's a story. I saw a foul ball one time. Obviously, there's a street right behind us. We saw a foul ball, took a huge bounce off the curb, and there was a cab with both of his windows open. The ball went right through both windows. Didn't touch anyone. Through both windows.
That's a Christmas miracle for that cab driver, man.
And I haven't even got a baseball up here in the broadcast booth.
It's tough. You know, I hear those IBL balls, they got a wicked resale market on eBay.
Oh, yeah. Swing and a miss by Justin Mara. Now 2 strikes on him.
You know, I got to say, I love the City of Toronto grounds crew letting the grass on kind of the berm here go, kind of creating a Field of Dreams effect. Fans are sort of half visible in the tall grass here around the field.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Get some Kevin Costner vibes here.
Mara takes over the inside corner. That was a breaking ball from Douglas. Strike 3 called.
That's a tasty pitch right there.
2 away for Jordan Castaldo.
Is that a Rickroll going on for Castaldo's walkout music?
Yep. There's some good ones.
See what the big lefty can do here.
Almost wonder if we could get something going on social media or something with the walk-up songs. Maybe get them, have a IBL Maple Leafs playlist or something. It wouldn't be too bad.
When I was
there'd be variety.
We did that. We had like a game day playlist. There were a couple teams in the league that would submit them. Players would send in the clean versions, of course.
Yeah.
And fans could go on game day and listen to the same tunes their favorite players were listening to at the stadium. One thing I want to touch on too tonight, Thomas, is how about the Welland Jackfish? I mean, what they're pulling off down there, great stadium, great fan support, awesome community engagement. That really is the best of what the IBL has to offer, you know?
And it's incredible how they're doing it as well. They've had good pitching, but they are right now, I think they have more stolen bases than every other team in the Intercounty Baseball League. Last time I checked, they were leading the stolen base department by like 25. And we don't see that very much at all here at Christie Pitts. I think Vinicio going might have been one of the first times. Here's a ball hammered to center field by Jordan Castaldo. Back to the wall. It's gone.
Oh, no.
The Maple Leafs are back to within 1 as Jordan Castaldo just hit a moonshot to dead center field.
And you could just see Douglas, the shoulders just shrugged because off the bat, that looks like a steady flyout. Medium deep center. And initially his fielder looked like he was going to have a play on it. And then you could kind of see him freeze up and go, oh no. And it landed about 6 inches from the green electrical box out there and just the shade to right center. But that's really tough for Douglas because that's not necessarily the hardest hit ball you're going to see. But at Christie Pitts, that's enough. It's enough. Leafs back on top.
I was sitting down by the field watching BP before the game, and this one's dished out into center field. There you go, John Salazzo. It's a single into center with 2 away. I was sitting down by the field before the game watching BP, and Castaldo walked back after taking a few cuts, and a fan yelled to Castaldo. He said, "Hit one to the skate park." And he said, Jordan Castaldo said, if I was hitting him to the skate park, I wouldn't be here right now. But, man, he missed it by about 30 feet.
Well, and if he is a lefty facing the pitching he faces in this league, if he was hitting his ball to the opposite field as a power hitter, I think he'd be concerned, right? That's where that comes from. And, nice dinger for him. But, that's certainly not – I wouldn't even call that a mistake from Douglas. In every other ballpark in the IBL, that probably stays in, right?
Very likely. Out to center field, very likely. Luca Boscarino is the batter now. Boscarino had a couple of hits on Sunday. Takes low and inside, ball 2.
Yeah, Douglas has battled here, but I really don't think he's pitched that badly. The number of hard hit balls, that little line shot after the Castaldo homer aside, he hasn't been hit overly hard. And even the Castaldo homer, I don't think that was that hard hit. He was under.
Yeah, Jordan Castaldo he's a pretty fit guy as well, though. He's got a lot of power, and he doesn't always show it off because he's an average guy. This one's hit out to center field, going back, and that one's going to get by the center fielder, go all the way to the wall, chugging around third base. Now John Salazzo's going to turn it off, and he's heading home. Here's the throw, not in time. Salazzo scores, and the Maple Leafs have tied it up on a RBI double from Luca Boscarino.
Yeah, it's a hard hit ball from Boscarino, but at the same time, I have no idea what Andy Leader's doing out there in center field. He took a horrible route to that baseball. I mean, that was a catchable ball. It was hard hit, but it was about 12 steps back directly from where he was playing. And he basically ran at a right angle to the ball and then jumped, and it was over his head. It's a poor route. And again, I don't want to make excuses for Douglas because that was a hard hit ball. Don't get me wrong. But Andy Leader's got to take a better route to that baseball in center field.
The flags are down now, but you almost wonder if that ball might have been tailing away a little bit. Now here's one hit on the ground. This should end the inning. Throw on to first base. Aiden McCaskey is retired. But a couple of hits, the Leafs string something together with 2 outs, and highlighted by a Jordan Castaldo solo home run, a double, and then Aiden McCaskey out to center field for the RBI, and the Leafs have tied things up. We head to the third inning, 3-3 between the Kitchener Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Robbie Gauthier leads things off for the Kitchener Panthers. Diego Dominguez back out for a 4th inning of work and delivers a sharp breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 1.
First pitch strikes. That's what it's going to be if Dominguez is going to go deep in this game. He's got to cut down on the ball. Simple as that.
Second pitch is just outside, and Mara hesitated, thought it might have been a strike. Getting ahead in the count is big, but sometimes for a pitcher, you have your confidence rocked a little bit when people start getting hits off you. Makes you kind of shy away from the strike zone, but you got to get around that.
It's the question of what hurts more, especially with bases empty to start an inning. I think a walk hurts more than a ringing single,
Definitely hear that.
Gotta make them earn it, as they say. Especially the leadoff man. You never want to lose the leadoff man on a base on balls. It just deflates everybody, and most of all the pitcher. Ooh.
Gauthier fouls it off. Just barely got a piece of it off the end of the bat. Did you hear that as well?
Yeah, I did. You can hear that, and looks like Mara's none the worse for wear. I'm sure he's taking worse back there, but always, all kinds of wrist and hand and upper body stuff going on when you're a catcher. They call them the tools of ignorance for a reason.
Pitch is inside 2-2.
Been pretty impressed with the Panthers, though. I mean, without really having any kind of book on Dominguez, I think this is only his third start. They're really working counts. They're making the young man work for his outs and certainly work deep in counts. And there you have it. But for a Panthers team that hasn't done a ton offensively outside of those 3, 4, 5 guys, they're really making them work for every at bat.
It's the fourth walk for Diego Dominguez. But a good start to the year for Robbie Gauthier as well, hitting .353 in 7 games.
What it's going to come down to for the Panthers, and maybe Douglas is the answer, maybe he's not, but team ERA of 7.13 coming into this one, Thomas. That's just, we talked about it before we went to air. Last year, maybe you grind to 500 with pitching staff in that range. This year, that's just not going to happen because teams have their import starters back. They have their import hitters in the lineup. A 7.13 team RA is just not going to do it for you, so the Panthers are going to have to get good and get good quick. Now, whether or not they have imports coming, who knows, but clearly their staff right now just hasn't been getting the job done.
Big swing and a miss from Stephen Whalen. Yeah, 7 ERA. That sounds about like what the Toronto Maple Leafs were last year, and it rode them all the way to the IBL finals. But this has been a different year. The runs have been way down in the IBL, and I think it gives a better product as well. We see some great young players, especially some of those import guys. Curveball is high. Stephen Whalen takes that one. He's off to a relatively good start with the bat as well, at least better than last season back in 2019. Or back in 2021, hit 291, 281 this year. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 32 at-bats. Hit on the ground, a diving play, but it gets by Aiden McCaskey. That's going to be a single to push the runner to second base for Stephen Whalen.
Yeah, Dominguez has been grinding here. Looks like you got Yusei warming up down there. Small lefty, definitely what I would call a crafty control pitcher. As warming up, he's got a nice little versatile arsenal, and I assume that he's going to be next to come in. Top probably going to give a check on him if Dominguez doesn't retire this batter, but a little bit of trouble here for Dominguez, and really just not a clean start after a quick first inning.
Runners on first and second, no one out. The bunt is on, and luckily the runners have the contact play on, waiting to see if Karasis is going to get that down.
Yeah, and again, another miss high and away from Dominguez, and you wonder how much longer he is for this game, Thomas, if he's struggling through the bulk of the Kitchener order here. 56
pitches so far. If he was pulled, it would be a command issue, and there's the command again. Looks like he lost the grip of that baseball. Yeah. It goes all the way to the backstop.
And yeah, he threw that about 53 feet.
Yeah.
And I have to think this is going to be his last batter here if he loses him.
Big troubles here for the Maple Leafs. They're going to play a semi-in infield. Ball fouled straight back by Karasis.
Good to see him bounce back with a fastball down Main Street, challenging the hitter. You always like seeing a pitcher bounce back after, losing grip or bouncing 4 feet in front of the plate like that.
Curveball just high.
Certainly grinding. No doubt about it after what was a very tidy first inning. You said 10 pitches, Thomas, in the top of the first.
Yeah.
It's been a rougher road the last couple innings for Dominguez with a whole lot of balls.
Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2. That time with the breaking ball. And the count runs full. DiClemente is on deck, then back to the top of the order. Outside, ball 4. First base was open, but now, early in the game, the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Carlos, you may have called that one. Damon Topley to the mound. And there'll be a new pitcher in the game when we come back. Tied 3-3, but the Maple Leafs in a jam here at Dominico Field. Welcome back to Dominico Field, and a new pitcher into the game, UC Teraoka. And this guy has an interesting scouting report, doesn't he, Carlos?
He does. He's got a BBREF page, so he did play a year of indie ball with the Wasco Reserves of the Pecos League last year. 5.94 ERA, and he plays a bit of left field as well. He's not going to overpower anybody, but everything he throws has some kind of weird movement on it. 5.94 ERA last year with Wasco in a, Pecos League is pretty much the bottom rung of pro baseball, but it's certainly still pro baseball in the southwestern U.S. Curious to see how he fares here.
Both a pitcher and a hitter, and there's a nasty breaking ball well outside. And as far as we know, you are going to see a lot of off-speed pitches from Teraoka. He did appear once with the Brantford Red Sox last year, played just one game. And there is a looping curveball that catches the inside corner.
Moly, front door curve at about 57 miles an hour. That is beautiful.
Fouled straight back. That looked like it might have been a fastball.
And you know what? It also gives them an option out of the bullpen for Top and company to bring a guy in and show something a little different arm slot. His fastball is going to come in about 15 miles an hour slower than Dominguez.
Big curveball hit on the ground. This is going to get a run home. Only play is over to first. So Teraoka gets an out, but the Kitchener Rangers take the lead. It's now 4-3.
Well, that was like a slow motion swing there from the Panthers hitter, just tapping it over to second to the right, or pardon me, the left of the second baseman, his left. That's going to bring up DiClemente. Really curious, though, Teraoka, if I would assume he's a one-time through the order kind of guy. This is not somebody you probably want seeing 2 or 3 times through the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Intercounty Baseball League. We'll see. maybe with this being his first outing of the year, and the Kitchener Panthers have never faced UC Teraoka. You might let him go as long as you can. It is early in the game. The bullpen isn't exactly plentiful at the moment. You always want to save arms if you can.
Yeah, it's certainly not a full house down the line in left field for the Leafs tonight.
Ball in the dirt. And I almost wonder if we see UC Teraoka play any outfield this year as well.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it looked like he played fairly regular in the Pecos League. Classic two-way player, which is kind of fun. You don't see a ton of that in the higher levels of pro ball, but certainly down here and even in the Pecos and Frontier Leagues, you see a bit of that.
Slow curveball just missed. Ball 4.
And I'm not entirely sure if that missed upstairs, but I just can't get over the fact he's trying to front door that. And now that the lineup turns over, maybe he's not going to throw that to the likes of Leader and company, but I mean, that curveball's got to be coming over the plate at like 58, 60 miles an hour. It is like hanging in the air.
Here's the ball lifted out to left field. This one's hooking down the line, coming over and trying to make a diving play in the outfield was Brady Sikornik, but I almost wonder if it's better if he didn't catch that baseball, because runner at third certainly would have come in to score. Early in the game, I guess you want to trade runs for outs, and the top of the order is coming up as well with Jacqueline, the batter now.
Yeah, we'll see what Teraoka can come up with here. This is a big spot. 2 runners on, has a chance to get out of it here. Been very impressed, Thomas, by Kitchener's approach at the plate here tonight. Seeing a lot of pitches.
Slow curveball, hit in the air. There's one away. The runner's tagging at third base. Carrington will make the catch. Throw is going to third base, but it's just offline. And it's now 5-3 Kitchener Panthers.
And I think I said when Diego Dominguez came out of this ball game, he was probably still going to get tagged for 5 or 6 runs just based on where we were in the order and having not seen Teraoka before. But sure enough, 2 of the 3 runners that were on when Dominguez left this ball game have now come around to score. So it's going to be a tough line for him on the day. It's going to, at the very least, be another no decision for Dominguez. But it's weird. You know, he's had good stuff, showcased good stuff, especially first time through the order, but just his command completely abandoned him second time through the order here, and that's why he's been chased out of the ball game fairly early.
Simon Grinberg is the batter. Slow curveball, tried to front door it once again, but it just missed inside.
I just wonder how many times he's going to be able to front door that before a Panthers hitter here in the heart of the lineup is going to turn on one.
He's been relatively accurate with it so far. Here's a ground ball. That looked like a little bit better curveball, and I think any of those breaking balls that are coming away from the batter might be best left to the outer third of the plate, maybe even more than that. 2 away. Teraoka trying to get out of it, and he will. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. That is the first strikeout of his IBL career for Yuki Teraoka. But the Maple Leafs do surrender a couple runs after having the bases loaded and nobody out. It's 5-3 Kitchener Panthers as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Brady Sikornik takes outside over the outside corner for strike one. Jacob Douglas still on the mound. Now in his fourth inning of work, starter for the Maple Leafs, Diego Dominguez was chased from the game last inning after having the bases loaded with nobody else, and then UC Teraoka came in and limited the damage. The Kitchener Panthers scored 2. They now lead 5-3 over the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the fourth, as Brady Sikornik fouls it off. Sikornik comes in this game hitting .333 over 20 games that he's appeared in, and 2 home runs as well. Tied for the lead on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The sun's setting now at Dominico Field, and that ball might get chopped down a little bit, but not this one. It's hammered into the right field corner. Brady Sikornik is going to make the turn around first base. He heads into second. It's a stand-up double for Brady Sikornik, who stays hot. And now the Maple Leafs have something cooking in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Nice little shot down the left field line there, and the same thing we said about Dominguez struggling second time through the order. Well, Douglas, I'm not sure, is overly long for this game, although, truth be told, no one's warming up. No movement on the Kitchener bench. Not sure. They're probably short-staffed tonight, too, I would imagine, in terms of arms. But we'll see what he can do here. I mean, he's going to have to battle through the heart of this order now, too.
The numbers suggest that Jacob Douglas has done a really good job in this game so far, especially throwing strikes. I know he has allowed the 3 runs, but that's going to happen when you're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs. 31 strikes, 13 balls. How about that?
And some would say maybe almost too many. Right? There's usually a sweet spot, and you don't want to be 75, 80% of the time over the strike zone because guys are going to go up with the green light.
Ball hit on the ground. The throw comes into third, and Sikornik is gunned down. Not a fantastic choice of base running from the young Brady Sikornik, and it'll land Damon Toppoli at first base with 1 away.
Yeah, that should not have been a fielder's choice. Ball to the left side. Typically in that situation, you're freezing. And what are you going to do? I mean, that's an error from a younger player, and you learn from it. Someone will have a little chat with him, I'm sure, in the dugout, and I'm sure his manager, who just got on the fielder's choice, is also going to have a word with him.
He can't talk to him because he's at first base.
Only in the Intercounty League. Only in their Intercounty League.
Greg Carrington is the batter, the center fielder today for the Maple Leafs. Damon Toppoli at first, doesn't have a ton of speed.
That's one way to put it.
Here's the ball hit on the ground. Toppoli running to second base. Throw on to first. And going down the first baseline and hobbling down the first baseline. It's a double play. And now some cause for concern from Greg Carrington.
Top's got to go take a look here. I think he came up a little lame on that. And now you can see Top heading back to the dugout. But he's taking a look going, oh, God, I'm going to have to put somebody in center. And I almost wonder if the guy he's got on the mound might be the best option.
Immediately, what my mind went to for sure. We hope Brady Sikornik's okay. He's heading back to the dugout under his own power, but it is a double play, and the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't able to respond in the bottom half. 5-3 Kitchener Panthers. We head to the 5th from Dominico Field. Welcome back to Dominico Field. So Carrington now out of the game, and that shuffles things around quite a bit. So Carlos and I will break it down for you. Going out to center field is Jordan Castaldo, and I don't remember the last time I've seen Jordan Castaldo playing center field. UC Taraoka stays on the mound, and then heading over to the first base is Damon Topley, but Topley was the DH, so now there's no DH in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So UC Taraoka, we were just talking about his bat, now may get a chance to hit as this one's flied out to center field, and look at that, a play for Jordan Castaldo, and he does it perfectly. One away.
Yeah, looks like he's been playing center field his whole life. Interesting to see some shuffling, some creativity from Damon Topley. Obviously, Carrington done for the day, and that's a hit to the we'll call it the mobility of the team, the speed of the team for sure, and obviously the defensive ability out there in center. You're going to see left and right pinch a little bit towards center here, I would imagine, just to try and make up for the fact that Castaldo doesn't have a crazy amount of range.
Line shot into center field. That one's going to get down. The first hit allowed by UC Taraoka.
Yeah, just a fastball that he left inner half. And nothing overly crazy there, just a base hit up the middle. Castaldo again looking sharp out there in center field, collecting the ground ball, hitting the cutoff man like he's been doing it for years.
That's always how it works out. You play a new position here. Hold on. Here's a ball hit on the ground to McCaskey. Quick turn over to first by Benicio, and pulls Damon Topley off the bag. They do get the lead runner as Marsden hit that ball on the ground.
That's the other thing about that move that's going to be interesting to watch is having Topley at first. I mean, he hasn't played there that often in recent years, usually a DH, and now he's got to play the field. So that's an added wrinkle. We saw him get pulled off the bag there. Castaldo in center, and you have to think Taraoka is probably going to move into either left or center when he's done pitching. If he's done pitching, who knows? Maybe he's got the arm to hang out. Who knows?
Stephen Whalen up to plate, as we mentioned, off to a good start with the bat. There's a nasty breaking ball once again, and that'll make you react every time on that break. You love the breaking
That
ball.
is sickening. I mean, he's throwing about 61 miles an hour from the left side, and Kitchener with no answer for that breaker.
Now one flied in the air once again, a couple steps back for the outfielder there for the Toronto Maple Leafs and Brady Sikornik, and that does it. This time, a clean inning, a relatively clean inning, I should say, from UC Taraoka, as the Kitchener Panthers are limited in the top of the fifth inning. We head to the bottom of the fifth from Thomas West and Carlos Varga. We'll be right back.
Good amount. There's definitely a song.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas West and Carlos Verdi.
There you go.
With you. Some inter-county baseball league action. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Kitchener Panthers. Kitchener leading 5-3 over Toronto. Bottom of the fifth inning, and for the third time today, Jose Benicio is going to lead off the inning.
Pretty amazing. Benicio, of course, played in Pawtucket, made it to AAA with the Boston Red Sox, and well, now he's listening to the Bushmen on a Wednesday night.
They do a fantastic job out there in left field. a ton of heckling, but one of their things is that they always keep it clean. We never have to go back and mute any audio.
You know, it's family friendly here at Christie Pitts. You never know who's walking by with their kids, who's walking by with their dog. But you know, talking to Vinicio Jose before the game, did a little Spanish language interview, and he said, I want to get back to pro baseball. And to do that, he's going to not only have to field well and run well, but he's going to have to be able to put the ball in play.
Puts it in play and gets it up the middle once again. Jose Vinicio leads off with a single. Look out. He thought about second base. But the watchful eye on the second baseman and retreats back to first. Leadoff single for Jose Vinicio.
Yeah, Jose is a guy that averaged about 15 stolen bases a year during his time in affiliated ball. You know, stops with the Red Sox organization, Diamondbacks most recently in 2018. And a guy that could definitely catch on if you look at a team like the Empire State Grays in the Frontier League. You look at the bottom half of the standings, even a Pecos League situation. There's a guy that at 28 years old, he just wants to play.
Mara rips it down the left field line. Foul.
Just in front of it, and Douglas knows he got away with one there.
Mara loves to pull the baseball, that time a little bit too much. I thought it was really interesting that Jose Vinicio says he wants to get back to professional baseball, 28 years old. That's a motivated player then that the Toronto Maple Leafs have.
Well, he's come back at it, and he said, you know, he signed with London in 2020. Didn't obviously have the opportunity to come up because of the COVID cancellation of that year, and then with the border restrictions last year. So IBL's been his re-entry into baseball plan for a number of years, and there's pathways. There's certainly players that go up and down from here to, you know, you think of the Ottawa Champions, now defunct in Ottawa, the Trois-Rivières Aigle, Quebec Capital. There's teams that certainly keep a finger on the pulse of this league. Now, what Jose is going to have to do, though, is he's going to have to get that batting average up, and because he's not a power guy, he's going to have to be able to show that he's better than a 21, 22, 23-year-old player in those leagues, because teams are rewarded financially for dressing younger rosters in those leagues. So it's an uphill battle for Jose, but he certainly has the tools to do well in the IBL moving forward.
Just getting a piece of that ball is Justin Mara. And he fits into this Toronto Maple Leafs team really well. He's a guy who can get on base, put the bat on the ball, kind of that prototype leadoff hitter. And then you got the big power bats coming up. One of them is Justin Mara here. And Jose Vinicio is going, swinging a miss, strike three, throw down to second base. Oh, it was a perfect throw, but the speed of Jose Vinicio just beats it out.
Yeah, and you can see Douglas not happy with that, but at the end of the day, that's just a great slide from Vinicio. Got an excellent jump and beat Grimberg's throw down. Pitcher not happy with the call, but just a good slide from Vinicio. And again, we saw that all throughout all of his stops at affiliated ball. That's what he brings to this team. It's not a Leafs lineup that's going to run on you a lot. Christie Pitts is not a ballpark you're going to run in a lot. But Vinicio brings that element, and especially on the road in some of those bigger ballparks with cavernous foul territories. There he goes.
Vinicio to third base. The throw gets away. Vinicio's going to come home. I read a scouting report on Jose Vinicio a couple days ago, and he said he has speed that can take over a game, and he just single-handedly got his way around the bases and brings the Maple Leafs back within one.
Well, and you want to talk about a little bit of bulletin board material. The London Majors said they didn't want him back this year. So he signed with Toronto. He wanted to go back to London. London said, we're good. We've got our imports. Jose Vinicio playing with a chip on his shoulder, trying to get back to professional baseball. That's how he's going to do it. Single up the middle, couple stolen bases, well on his way tonight.
Here's the ball hit out to center field, not quite as far as the last one that Jordan Castaldo hit that went out in center field for a home run, but this time got by the center fielder.
The other thing that's worth noting too, Thomas, is how different some of these teams are going to look in August and September, right? There's still quite a few teams, you know, whether it's visa issues, whether it's getting guys in country. There's a lot of import players that are still, you know, waiting to show up in places like London. Probably Kitchener, I'm sure, has one or two Cuban guys coming in. And these rosters are going to look very different come August and September in the playoff race. Toronto, not so much, but I think a couple of the other teams in this league are still looking to add a few pieces, especially as they get released from indie ball.
John Salazzo takes low ball 1-1 guy that the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking forward to is Marcus Connect. There's a check swing, check down to third base, didn't go, ball 2. Marcus Connect was incredible last year, 13 home runs. He only played half the year and almost led the IBL in home runs in half a season. So he's got great power and a former third-round draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs as well.
Yeah, that's what you'd hope
Toronto
you'd
Blue
do.
Jays as well.
That's what you hope you'd do
Yeah.
in this league, right? That's what you put him on the roster for. That's what you make sure he's taken care of for. And it's really neat the way rosters are composed now. A little bit different than 10, 12 years ago when I was last around the league. There's a larger divide. You've got guys at the top, the imports that are serious players. Most, if not all of them, played affiliated ball in some capacity. And then on the other end, you got 18, 19-year-old kids back home from their first or second year down south. So the way these rosters are constructed is super interesting. But at the end of the day, I do think it is still the import talent that's gonna really shine for those top three teams moving forward.
3 balls on John Salazzo. Here's the pitch. Check swing. That time he went around. Strike 3. And Douglas gets him on a full count. The only run that scores is Jose Vinicio, who made a mad dash all the way around the base path despite no hits by the Toronto Maple Leafs other than the Jose Vinicio single in the inning. And it's now 5-4 for the Kitchener Panthers from Thomas West and Carlos Verdi. We'll be right back. Teraoka back on the mound, and Karasis fouls one off on the left field line.
Again, Thomas, been really impressed with the at-bats. Even the Panthers' 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys have had really good approaches to making the Leafs pitching staff work for every out.
Here's a ball that's hit through the right side. Karasis has his first hit of the ball game. Narabecki comes to the plate with one on and nobody out.
Yeah, that was just, again, Teraoka trying another one of those front door curveballs. And you throw enough of them, eventually Kitchener's going to get wise and they're just going to sit on it. You're never going to give up on a 60-mile-an-hour curveball. So the first time through the order, you can probably get away with it. But he's got to be really careful with that front door curve. Really careful.
And Karasis as well was the first batter to come through the second time in the order. Second at bat for Narabecki as well. We'll see if he has some similar intel on the lefty for the Maple Leafs.
This Kitchener team, though, isn't gonna hurt for offense. That's for sure, Thomas. I think the question's going to be, is their starting pitching good enough? Because it looks like their bats are at least passable for kind of 500 baseball. So it's really just a matter of whether or not they're going to get the pitching. And they didn't last weekend against London.
Pitch just inside. Leaning back, wanted it over the inside corner was Teraoka.
Nice little crowd is filtered in here at Christie Pitts.
Yeah. It's great to see the fans here in Toronto, and these Wednesday night games. It's Tuesday last year, always bring out fans after work, and it's an awesome atmosphere down in this little neighborhood near Christie Pitts. Here's a ball hit on the ground. That one's going to get through. Now first and second with nobody out, and the number 9 hitter, D. Clemente, coming to the plate. And just like you predicted, batter sitting on the curveball and starting to get a few hits at the bottom of the order against Teraoka.
Yeah, one thing that was pretty obvious looking at his stat line in Wasco last year in the Pecos League is he did give up a lot of hits. You're looking at 27 over 16 in the third, I believe, and you just wonder if second time through the order, he's got that big looping curve, but the fastball's pretty flat. If it's in the strike zone, most guys in the IBL are going to be able to time that up. So see if he can battle here.
Pitch in there for a strike. D. Clemente is 0 for 1 today with a walk. Every batter except Leader, Marsden, and Jacqueline have all drawn a walk, squaring to bunt. And man, you think about those breaking curveballs. It's not the easiest pitch to get one down. You're almost better off just trying to take a hack at it.
Well, that's the third time tonight the Panthers have failed to lay a bunt down, and they want to get that run across, and Teraoka misses high there, but that's a really key run standing out there at second base right now. I mean, you're into the second half of the ball game just about, and you really do want to extend that lead. As Teraoka really playing with fire with that front door inside curveball. I mean, I know you're facing, I think this is Di Clemente, correct, at the bottom of the order. Jacqueline's coming up to the dish. You're going to start seeing guys that have already seen you. That front door curveball, I'm just not sure is the move.
Damon Topley in on the grass, but this one's hit out to center field. There's Jordan Castaldo in center making the catch. He's going to gun one down to third base, and it was a perfect throw.
Cannon.
And wisely holding at second was Carosa.
So back to the top we go, and let's see what Teraoka is made of here. No action in the Toronto bullpen here, Thomas. So Damon Topley is going to let him ride this one out into the late innings by the look of things.
Maple Leafs do have some guys in the bullpen. When it gets late, Dustin Richardson's a name we've thrown around earlier. Here's a ball hit on the ground. That one's going to get through just by the outstretched glove of Aiden McCaskey. Coming home as the runner and going first to third as well as Narabeski. And now first and third with just one out here for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, and Teraoka's just getting hit. There's not really any two ways about it. 3 hits given up in the inning and a runner at third. Teraoka battling. Looks like we're going to have some movement now down in the Toronto pen, but challenging night for the Maple Leafs pitching staff.
Here's another one that's hit out to center. Castaldo's not going to get there. One run is going to score. A quick throw in. Now there's a play at the plate. Venicio's throw is well up the line. And that's an RBI double for Steven Grinberg. And tack on 2 more runs for the Kitchener Panthers. It's 7-4, 8-4.
Yeah, nice poke by Grinberg, dumping one into right center field there, well over the head of Castaldo. And again, maybe if Carrington's still in the ball game, there's a play on that, but that's a well-hit ball from Grinberg. No doubt about it. Clears the bases as well. Bit of a tough throw from Venicio. Might have had a shot at home plate at the second runner if that had been on line. He threw it about 15, 20 feet up the line. No play for Mara, but someone's getting loose in a hurry down there in the Toronto dugout, and if they're not careful, this game is going to get out of hand here quickly.
Pitch is up and away outside from Teraoka. Andy Leader is the batter. Played since 2017 with his hometown Kitchener Panthers. Last season hit .327. Teraoka's pitch goes back to the backstop. And now that runner at second base is going to move to third. And a ball on the ground could cash in the 9th run of the game for the Kitchener Panthers. as they're starting to see UC Teraoka pretty well. And talk about that average from Andy Leader as well. He's only raised that this year, hitting just under 400 and now takes a walk.
Yeah, tough inning gets a little bit tougher for UC Teraoka, and after a promising start here, Thomas, he's just kind of faded a little bit. And now he's facing really the heart of this Kitchener order. He's got to be real careful here, real careful.
Keegan Marsden is the batter. Marsden failed to get a hit in his 2 at-bats in that 16-0 loss against the London Majors last time for the Panthers. Now one hit on the ground past Damon Topley at first base. Another runner is going to come in to score. Going first to third is Andy Leader. And it's 9-4 for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, Teraoka is just getting hit at this point, Thomas. There's no real doubt about it, and I assume we're going to see a pitching change here fairly shortly as the Panthers seem to have figured him out second time through the order. Just a matter of time. They're getting a big righty loose down the line are the Leafs, but this one just about blown open here as Teraoka has been, his curveball's been hit, his fastball's been hit, and it's just a challenging debut for the former Wasco reserve man.
Robbie Gauthier steps to the plate. Gauthier has been swinging a hot bat of late. He was 3 for 3 in his first 2 games or 3 and 4 games ago against the London Majors and the Brantford Red Sox, and then that 16-0 shutout last game against the London Majors. But this is a guy who has 7 hits in his last 4 games. Teraoka's pitch is way outside.
Well, and you can see now, you talked earlier, Thomas, about getting hit. Now that he's been rocked 4 times in this inning, including that Grimberg shot to right center, Teraoka now shying away from the inside of the plate.
Here's a swing, and it's strike 3, but the ball gets away, so another run comes in to score. 10-4 now for the Kitchener Panthers, but there's 2 away in the inning. And now 1 batter away from finally getting out of it for UC Teraoka, but he's got to get through the big lefty bat of Stephen Whalen first.
Whalen's had a tidy night tonight at the plate, too. Some good at-bats, some decent contact, if I'm not mistaken. And as you look at it, he's already got a run scored tonight as well. Like I said, really impressed by the Panthers tonight. Now, I know they're not seeing the top dogs necessarily for the Maple Leafs in terms of pitching, but some really good at-bats and some hard contact.
Each of the top 4 hitters coming into this game for the Kitchener Panthers are hitting well above 300. Stephen Whalen is the first guy that's not hitting 294. Whalen swings and fouls it back.
These 2 teams, of course, go again tomorrow night at, I believe it's Jack Couch Park down there in Kitchener, home of the Panthers, and I'm sure you're going to see a bit of a different.
Whalen lines one to center field. That one gets down, and it's going to find a gap. Going to collect it is the new center fielder, Jordan Castaldo. 1 run comes in to score. A throw at third base, and they got him at third. A gift from the Kitchener Panthers, who now lead 11-4, but the Maple Leafs get out of the inning. 11-4, Kitchener Panthers over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube from Dominico Field. New pitcher in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Kitchener Panthers, Carlos, is Matt Stoddart, who comes in, hasn't allowed a run yet this year in just 3 innings with the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, a Humber College graduate, 5-year starter there for the Hawks. Started his career as an infielder and transitioned to become really, a stalwart Stoddart back there. 2.95 career ERA at Humber as he misses high with the first pitch. But love to see the High Sox. He's got a commanding profile up there, and we'll see what he can do here. Big righty, another righty to face the Leafs here.
You're a High Sox guy?
Oh, was I ever. I was a stirrup guy over in Spain. Whole team High Sox. We had an old school Venezuelan coach, and he insisted everyone wore High Sox. I was like, it wasn't up for debate.
Yeah, I had some teammates growing up playing baseball that lived and died by the High Sox, but I can't say I ever did them. Honestly, I don't even really know how you do it.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, it's better than the Little League look when the kids would try and go low pants, but like you could see the hem. So there was like 2 or 3 inches of sock. That was the worst look. The worst.
Luca Baracino is the first test for Stoddart. Pitch is inside, ball 4. That's what the Toronto Maple Leafs need right now, trailing 11-4 to the Kitchener Panthers base runners, and it's power bat Nathan McCaskey coming up.
Yeah, inauspicious start here for Matty Stoddart, the Mississauga native. Oh, get that Katy Perry pumping it. That's rally music if I've ever heard it.
Swing and a miss by Aiden McCaskey.
Interesting, too. You mentioned McCaskey being a bit of a power bat. Pretty rare you get any kind of serious slugging out of that second base slot. Really at any level. That's usually where you're sticking a good defensive guy, good fielder, maybe a speed threat. But pretty rare you see a guy that can put the ball out with some consistency playing second.
This year, Matt Stoddart, as this one's fouled off left side by Aiden McCaskey, that's well out of play, is a bullpen guy. Last year made 2 starts in the 3 games that he appeared in. His ERA was up over 5.7. Pitch to Aiden McCaskey is way outside.
Maybe it's the fact we're early in the year, but we've seen all 4 pitchers really, not so much Teraoka. He was kind of all over the strike zone, but seen a lot of, or most of these pitchers missing badly, like missing 2-3 feet outside, 3-4 feet high in the case of Dominguez. And you wonder if that's just early season rust. Not all of these guys are coming off college seasons in the spring. Some of the younger guys are, but a lot of them haven't pitched since last year. So if it's only your second or third appearance of the season, it's no wonder you're going to be a little rusty.
Stoddart looks in. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground. Well hit, but a good play by the second baseman. Throw over to first. Looking at the runner at second base was DiClemente, but with the score the way it is, 11-4 Kitchener Panthers elects to just get the out at first base. And another good piece of walk-up music.
There you go.
I guess that would signal for Brady Sikornik.
That was a nice job there, too, by Kenny DiClemente ranging to his left to put that one away. Not an easy play tracking to your left and still getting a timely throw off there.
The pitch to Sikornik outside. Runner at second base is Luca Baracino.
Get that ambient sound here at Christie Fitz.
I was trying to mute the audio. I saw the ambulance going by. Right over the outside corner. Brady Sikornik didn't like it. 1-1.
Yeah, it was a nice. I'm not sure if it was a 2-seam or a change. Don't have a good read on Stoddart's velocity just yet, but it was a nice kind of pitch that came back in towards the right-handed hitter. Nice righty-on-righty action.
Curveball way high.
Yeah, missed up top. He just didn't finish through on that delivery, and he knew it right away. Pointed to his catch and said, "Yep, that's mine."
One thing that Matt Stoddart has done in his IBL career, he's pitched 32 innings, 23 strikeouts. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 2.
Yeah, the business admin grad doing a little administrating of his own with the inside fastball there.
Up and in, and Now the count level to Brady Sikornik, who has a lot of pop in that bat and hits one out to right field. Well hit, shading towards the line and coming over and making a difficult catch as he might have lost it somewhere. Narabetsky was right around the right field corner and made the catch. And Luca Barracino has to hold it second.
Yeah, credit to Narabecki. I mean, got on him early in the day for his arm strength or perceived lack thereof, but that's a nice catch in some not great lighting, we'll call it here at Christie Pitts. Down the corners, left field, right field, especially left, it can be tricky. Not the best lit field in the league, that's for sure. And nice job by Narabecki to track that down. And I was actually pretty close to the fence, too.
Damon Topley, the batter now, coming up with 2 outs. And if I had a scouting report on Damon Topley and I was the Kitchener Panthers, I would probably play him the other way in the outfield. Damon Topley has been so good throughout his entire IBL career, just dishing one to the opposite side. This time he does, but it's right on the ground for the second baseman, D. Clemente, who throws to first. And the Maple Leafs are retired in the bottom of the 6th. 11-4, Kitchener Panthers, Maple Leafs baseball from Dominico Field. AJ Karasis leads things off for the Kitchener Panthers.
He's had some nice ABs tonight as well. Nice poke last time through the order for the Panthers. And again, just really impressed by Kitchener's approach up and down the lineup tonight.
New pitcher into the game as well for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're just waiting on that to come in.
I believe that's Green. Yeah, it's Sam Green out there, 33.
There you go. Sam Green. Guy recently came to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Got a 10-year-old chirping the Kitchener Panthers down the third base line. All part of the scenery here at Christie Pitts. You know, you got the Bushmen drunkenly but politely chirping, and then you've got some 10-year-old kids, and then sometimes you even get the odd You get the odd guy rolling through who maybe doesn't even know there's a baseball game going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably get a lot.
The lights just went out on the Little League field over in right field, so that back right corner out in right
It's
just got a
dark
little
now.
tougher.
Yeah.
Just got a little tougher to field. Great ballpark, though. One of the gems of the IBL.
Pitch just outside. I'm just remembering now, I think we had a comment earlier on about where you can get a Toronto Maple Leafs hat or t-shirt. And we've just opened up an online store. So you can go to the Toronto Maple Leafs website, and I believe there's a link to buy some merchandise, hats included in that. And I personally wear my Toronto Maple Leafs hat around. I think it's a pretty good look. Come to the ballpark, support the team, and anybody can come out and watch the games too. Free admission here at Dominico Field. Here's the pitch from Green. This one's hit in the air, left field. Shading over towards the corner and making the catch. That's Brady Sikornik, one away.
You're starting to see a lot of Maple Leafs gear floating around town too. I mean, I live and work down here, and especially along Bloor, even just on an average weekday, you'll see Maple Leafs hats. You'll see the occasional Maple Leafs windbreaker out there, and it's a team that I think very much locally in this northwest part of the downtown core does have a fair amount of support. And you see it come playoff time. You see it, on a Sunday afternoon in June or July when there's, 400 or 500 people out here at Christie Pitts all around watching the game. It's a well-supported team, and I think as the league continues to become more and more legit, more and more pro in places like Welland and London, I think Toronto is going to serve as kind of a callback to what this league used to be, 30, 40 years ago. You can't really change much here on the hillside of Christie Pitts just based on what it is, where you are. And I think the Maple Leafs are a nice historic flagship for the league because of that.
And you don't need to change much either. There's a check swing. Did he go? Oh, yes, he did. That's the second strikeout in his IBL career for Sam Green. And there's two away. And you think back to the playoff run that the Maple Leafs had last season, and man, there were some historic games and great crowds out here at Dominico Field. The one that impresses me the most was Game 5 of the IBL Finals with the Sean Riley walk-off home run to dead center field, and that one game went 13 innings and about 5 hours long. Jose Benicio, long run. He's not going to get there. That's going to fall for a single and maybe more. Racing to second base, and he's in there with a double. Benicio didn't have much of a play on that one.
No, you could see he took off trying to get to the general area he thought it would be. Then he, peeked back up over the throwing shoulder, which isn't typically the way you want to play that. But I mean, that's just a tough play. It's in no man's land. The outfield's all scrambled because of the lineup changes. That's a single all day. And Green in a little spot of trouble here now after making quick work of the first hitters.
First hit of the day for D. Clemente. It goes as a double. He stands out there at second base with two away, and it's back to the top of the order for Jacqueline.
Thomas, talk about what you want out of that 9 slot out of a second baseman. Kenny D. Clemente has quietly done that today. Very good defensively. Has put the ball in play quite a bit. No errors in the field, and really that's all you can ask for from a 9-hitter on a Wednesday night in this league.
D. Clemente, the second baseman tonight. And this is where you got to be careful. The Maple Leafs have run into issues already in this game facing the top of the order. Jacqueline hitting .314. Grittenberg has averaged back to .500 with that hit last at bat. Now here's one hit in the air, left field. Not particularly deep. Shading over to his left and making the catch is Brady Sikornik. And the Maple Leafs get out of the inning. No runs, a hit on an interesting looking double, and the Maple Leafs bats have some work to do coming up in the bottom of the 7th inning. 11-4 Kitchener Panthers as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Ball ripped foul.
Just wonder where the offense is going to come from for the Leafs. I mean, they got 9 outs for 7 runs, and Thomas, it just hasn't been there in spades for them tonight. I mean, you look up and down the lineup, Vinicio with 2 hits, neither of them especially hard hit. Boscarino 2 for 2. But really, it hasn't been that big an offensive performance, considering they were facing an unknown quantity.
A ball ripped up the middle, and that's the pinch hitter, Dawson Parks, who hits it into center field. And that is the first hit of the season for Dawson Parks.
Dawson Parks, notable now that we can say that both coaches listed on the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup card have now hit the ball in this baseball. And again, Inter-County League, baby.
So we still haven't seen an at-bat from a pitcher yet.
Yet.
We have to get one. Well, no, I guess we don't.
Looks like we got another lefty warming up down in the bullpen here for Toronto. We'll get a name and number for you in a second, but bullpen certainly getting its reps in tonight as Diego Dominguez chased out of this game early, Thomas. And again, a guy that I think has a lot of tools. We'll see where he lands. I'm very interested to see where Dominguez lands.
It's Adam Mara warming up there. Sidewinding lefty for the Maple Leafs. Jose Vinicio finally getting an at-bat where he's not leading off the inning, and he has a runner on in Dawson Park. Swing and a miss by Jose Vinicio.
Yeah, he's not happy with himself. You can see him digging into the dirt, and rightfully so. I mean, you got to have a better eye than that. And that's the second or third time tonight that Vinicio's chased a pitch well out of the zone. And again, if he wants to get back to where he was, he's gonna have to be a little bit more disciplined.
Some discipline there. High fastball outside.
Pretty impressive when you see guys from the collegiate ranks in Canada able to carve out a nice little career for themselves in this league. A guy like a Matt Stoddard. Humber College, not really heralded.
Over the inside corner, strike 3 called. Jose Vinicio goes down looking. It brings up Adam Mara. Yeah, one of the cool things about this league is that you got guys from everywhere. Guys who are playing U Sports now mixed with former professional baseball players. You think about maybe some tips that they can pick up there. A guy like Jose Vinicio, who's been all over the place in minor league ball all the way up with the Pawtucket Red Sox and AAA. And some of the younger guys as well. We got some young guys. Brady Sikornik comes to mind, a 2002 born player on this Maple Leafs team. And maybe he can learn from some of that veteran experience that his Maple Leafs teammates had. Here's a ball crushed out to right field, and that one is way out of here. Justin Mara with a look back to the dugout. He knew it. It's 11-6 now as the big lefty bat cuts into the lead.
Yeah, it's a pitch Stoddart's not going to love, but frankly, Mara just got around on it. It was a fastball middle in, and no real doubt on that pitch. Mara saw it all the way. Looks like we're going to have a little movement in the Kitchener pen here as well. Somebody making their way out there.
Justin Mara crushed that ball, and now another guy who hit one a couple innings ago to dead center field, Jordan Castaldo. That was a home run this game. That was his first of the year. Castaldo takes inside. Justin Mara might be starting to get his swing back. That's 2 home runs in his last 2 games, both to the exact same spot in the ballpark and the same ballpark as well. And we were waiting for that first home run on Sunday from Mara. He got it. It was on a hanging breaking ball, this time a fastball.
It's gutsy from Stoddard to go right back to that inside fastball, which he struck out Vinicio on and then promptly gave up a bomb to tomorrow on the next at bat. I mean, going right back to the well with that inside heat. Confident pitcher, that's for sure. Can't fault him that.
Castaldo took over the inside corner for strike 1. Here's the pitch from Stoddard. Lined up the middle. Oh, a great play at second base by Di Clemente. Throw on to first, and he got him. And that's a web gem there against Jordan Castaldo, 2 away.
Yeah, DiClemente, nice job ranging to his right, and then the throw was actually a bit offline, but a real nice job at first base there. You know, digging over to his right was the Kitchener first baseman.
Yeah, Keegan Marsden's had a good night at first base, a good night at the plate as well.
Gotta love the Bushmen.
Just outside to John Salazzo. Stoddart looks in. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ball fouled off left side.
Need to see both managers, and I guess this is, you know, in case of the weekday game, you're throwing guys in there who maybe don't have a ton of appearances, if any, this year. Really letting their bullpens take this. You know, pitchers, relievers going 2-3 innings in this ball game. Not something you necessarily see on a Saturday night in London or Welland, but something that both managers seem to both be going with tonight.
Pitch way outside.
We do now have action in the Kitchener bullpen as well. Going to try and catch a number for you. A little obscured from our viewpoint, but they got a righty down there.
John Salazzo takes ball 4. That's his first walk today. He has a hit and 3 at-bats. And it brings up Luca Barracino, the only guy in the lineup who doesn't have a hit tonight other than Greg Carrington, who left early with some kind of a leg injury running down the first baseline, is Damon Topley, although he does have an RBI tonight. The offense has been there for the Toronto Maple Leafs, just would like to have cashed in a couple more runners in scoring position. And that one bad inning as well in the 6th, they gave up 6 runs to the Kitchener Panthers, up and into Barracino.
Yeah, Stoddard's been a little more all over the place with his fastball the last few at-bats. We'll keep an eye on his control here. Getting late in the day for the Panthers righty.
11-6, the Leafs trailing by 5. Barracino takes a strike. There's 2 outs, though, in this inning. Runner at first base is John Salazzo. Here's Stoddart's pitch, swinging a ground ball left side, and that one's going to go just foul. Man, it looked real close down the left side.
Could have been an infield single situation, too, with just how deep the third baseman was off the bag. Would have been a pretty close play at first there.
Caught Karasis a little bit off guard as well. Barracino gets down the line pretty well. Aiden McCaskey on deck, and we know that he has considerable power, especially with that short porch out in right field. And this game isn't over yet for the Maple Leafs with the kind of offense that they have. Slow curveball, just missed inside, and might have gone over the head, actually, of Barracino.
I always love the reasoning, pitcher's ahead 0-2, and he loses control of a slider or breaker, and obviously he's trying to hit our guy. You always love that.
Hard ground ball to shortstop. Stephen Whalen collects, throws to first, a low throw, but dug out by Keegan Marsden. And the Maple Leafs get 2 on a big fly from Justin Mara, but still trail 11-6 to the Kitchener Panthers as we head to the top of the 8th inning here at Dominico Field.
there are in that kind of U20.
Welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs baseball from Dominico Field. Strike one from new pitcher Adam Mara, the side-winding lefty for the Maple Leafs. And this could be a rude awakening as this one's hammered down the right side. That one's going to go all the way into the corner. Barrosino fishes it out. And it's a leadoff double for the Kitchener Panthers here in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, I just pulled down the line. I think the hitter, the lefty, was actually out in front of it and pulled it right down the line. But, just as we talked before the broadcast and kind of through the middle innings here about how much better the Leafs pitching was this season. I mean, they're getting hit and hit hard tonight by this Kitchener Panthers team. It's not dribblers. It's a lot of line drive singles, line drive doubles. And, if your manager and DH turned first baseman Damon Topley, you got to be a little concerned about, well, the fact that most of the relievers you've thrown out there tonight have just been hammered, for lack of a better word.
Another ball hit in the air. Castaldo drifting over. This one's relatively shallow. He makes the catch. One away.
Yeah, just under it a little bit there. The Panthers lefty. And another thing I've noticed, too, is so many left-handed hitters through the heart of this Panthers lineup. Leader aside, I think pretty much everyone else we've seen tonight is a left-handed hitter.
Can't imagine these at-bats are particularly comfortable with that side armor on the mound. So check swing didn't go.
There's your perfect example. First pitch, breaker, slider, curve, whatever you want to call it, slurve. That's tough to pick up if you're a lefty seeing this guy for the first time. New arm slot, new velocity.
2 hits today for Keegan Marsden and a couple of good defensive plays as well over there at first base. 1-1 the count now. Adam Mara looks in the 1-1 pitch right down the middle. Strike 2.
Panthers looking to recoup some of the runs they gave up on that 2-run shot last inning.
Marsden hits one on the ground. Aiden McCaskey scoops it up, throws on to Damon Topley at first base. 2 away.
Big run out there at third base, though. Don't kid yourself. 6 outs left to go here for the Leafs. And, they're within 5. They're battling here. Also love that the IBL's still on that nice, clean point streak technology.
Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Does its job. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Vinicio takes the high hop, throw on to first base to the leadoff double. Doesn't end up cashing in for the Kitchener Panthers, and the Maple Leafs get out of it with a good defensive play by Jose Vinicio. 11-5 Kitchener Panthers, 6 outs to go for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they've got the bats coming up, and McCaskey, Sikornik, and Topley to start things off. Welcome back to Dominico Field. New pitcher for the Kitchener Panthers is Grant Shantz. Comes into this game with a 1.92 ERA and just 4 innings of work this year.
A little bit of sauce on that fastball from the righty.
Aiden McCaskey is the batter. He swings and misses at the first pitch. Last outing was June 5th against the Brantford Red Sox for Shantz. McCaskey hits one on the ground and can't quite find a hole. Oh, yes, it does find a hole. Squeaks through. Aiden McCaskey on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, it's the first time tonight range into his left that DiClemente's had trouble with that ground ball just to his left, and he was tracking across, kind of right on the edge of the dirt, and yeah, just couldn't come down with it. Unfortunate for the Panthers, but little sign of life for the IBL Leafs here.
Brady Sikornik, 2 home runs on the year. Runner on first base with nobody out. Damon Topley is on deck. The batter is Brady Sikornik. Shantz looks in. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. Good cut by Sikornik.
Always love the Bushman coming up with some real creative chirps down the line there in left field, getting all over Grant Shantz, telling him to...
No.
You know? Anyways, big righty looking pretty good here early for Kitchener.
Here's the pick from Shantz. It's up and in.
Yeah, he tried to front door that and just couldn't find the zone. Former U of T man.
And they got their signs crossed up as the catcher's going to head out to the mound.
The great thing is the rest of the crowd is so quiet with the Leafs trailing by 5 here that it's like the Bushmen are having a conversation with themselves. You know, they try a chant. If it works, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And they're just riffing off each other out there.
Yeah, they got some good chemistry out there. And if you want to hear more of them as well, you can go check them out. They got a podcast on YouTube. If you go at the Bushman on Twitter, you can find it there. Ball's fouled off by Brady Sikornik, and it remains 1-2. Shantz looks in, the 2-strike pitch, fouled back once again.
Panthers dealing with a hostile environment here in the bottom of inning number 8.
Swing and a miss and a nasty breaking ball. Sikornik goes down on a rather ugly swing and a miss, and it brings up Damon Topley.
The amount of times I tried to jam guys inside with a changeup, and it didn't work, significant.
Yeah.
It's ballsy.
I was always told that inside changeup was just the wrong pitch.
Yeah. Because if a guy knows it's coming, it's going a long, long way.
In that case, Brady Sikornik was way out in front. I think that was inside enough, whether he meant for it to be there or not. That was rated on the hands. And he couldn't get the bat on it. Damon Topley won't be fooled by a pitch like that, but now he's popped it up on the infield fly rule in effect. So Topley heads back to the dugout. 2 away.
Yeah, pretty quiet inning here for Shantz. Mara's going to bat here.
There we go.
Interesting.
So he's got 2 brothers on this team that have done pretty well for themselves with the bat. Adam Mara already has 2 home runs this season to go along with his 10 home runs in his IBL career. So he's been off to a hot start, but injured right now, and now a ball hit on the ground to second base, and it's a moot point. The Maple Leafs down to their last 3 outs, trailing by 5 to the Kitchener Panthers. It's 11-6. Toronto Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube from Dominico Field.
Whalen.
Welcome back to Dominico Field. Stephen Whalen starts things off in the away half of the 9th inning. Slow curveball just inside from Adam Mara, who's out there for his second inning of work, has a plate appearance as well this game, grounded out to the shortstop. Finished off that inning. Swing and a miss.
He's had a pretty tidy night, too. Some good defensive assists and just put the ball in play a fair amount. 2 for 3 on the night.
2 for 3, a walk for Whalen. He's got that average up to 314 now.
Umpire's zone has really expanded over the course of the night. He wasn't giving a lot of those narrow outside pitches to the lefties earlier in the day, and certainly is now.
That one's way outside, and Mara works quickly. And that one hits Stephen Whalen, so he's going to go down to first base. And this is Adam Mara's game to finish out here, you'd have to imagine.
Absolutely. This is borderline mop-up duty at this point in time. And, well, if you're Stephen Whalen, that's one of the easiest HBPs you're going to get. Just a nice, easy off-speed from a soft lefty. Take it right in the soft part of the torso, and he's aboard. Certainly seeing we've seen a sharp drop-off in velocity over the course of this game from the Leafs pitchers, though. Dominguez coming in with that, mid to high 80s fastball, and when you look at what's been thrown up with Green and Teraoka and now with Adam Mara, definitely a change of pace.
Yeah.
And one that has not thrown the Kitchener Panthers off. They've been right on the Leafs pitching all throughout this ball game.
Took about an inning or about one at bat for everyone to adjust to UC Teraoka, and then they started teeing off on him after they kind of realized the scouting reports. You almost wonder if in the future Teraoka becomes kind of like a 1 inning, 2 inning guy rather than trying to face the order for a second time, because he does have nasty stuff. It's good stuff as well. It's not particularly hard, but man, does it ever break. And after seeing maybe someone who throws a little bit harder and then you see that nasty breaking ball, it could be pretty effective as a middle inning reliever.
Absolutely. I think of a guy from, again, the Fat Cats era, a lefty by the name of Josh Sofer, played at SUNY Canton, and he was very much that kind of reliever. You'd bring him in for an inning or two, but if you tried to stretch him into a 4 or 5 inning, or God forbid gave him a start, teams would figure him out second time through the lineup. So Teraoka, they're going to have to protect him. They're going to have to be smart about how they use him, because his stuff is just too soft and too readable second, third time through the order.
Swing and the miss there. That was the first strikeout of the game for Adam Mara. Steven Narabetsky. A couple of runs scored today, a walk and also a hit in his 3 at-bats, and now he is hit and goes down to first base. 2 on, 1 out for the Kitchener Rangers in the 9th.
Second time Mara's tried to front door that slide piece and has just completely lost it. Disappointing miss, to be sure. And 2 aboard here for Kitchener as they try and advance to try and build on the 5-run lead.
And there for strike 1 from Adam Mara. Breaking ball hit in the air. This one's dropping in center field. Castaldo's going to come in and make a running catch. Oh, and now he drops it, but I believe it was on the transfer. The umpire had already turned his back 2 away.
There's a Little League coach out there somewhere who would have challenged that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no, he didn't have control. Whoa. You'd be surprised. I've seen some weird stuff.
I think there's major league managers that probably would have challenged it too, but
yeah,
at this point,
no video technology here in the Intercounty League, unfortunately.
That aside, well, we bring some video, just not of that nature. That aside, though, how about Jordan Castaldo stepping in center field? He's got a lot of action out there, and he's been pretty much perfect out there in center.
The range, the throw to third, hosed a guy. I mean, he's been better than expected.
Yeah.
But I do think the pitching has to be a little bit of a concern for the Leafs here.
Here's a ball hit, and it goes over the head of Baracino in the outfield. A run is going to come in to score. Throw to second base, not in time. It's an RBI double from Narabetsky. And it's now 12-5, Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, and if that's a faster runner coming around third, that's probably a second run plating in that situation. Looks like we are going to have some movement possibly in the Toronto pen. Maybe not. No, you're right. This is definitely Mara's game to finish. As Kitchener really look like they're putting this one on ice here.
2 outs. Runners at second and third.
Another instance there, Mara trying to front door that slide piece. Just didn't work, and he almost hit the runner again. Or pardon me, the hitter again. It's 3 lefties in a row that he's tried to front door that with, and it just isn't working.
Outside 2-0. Swinging a ball, hammered once again. Baracino going over, can't make the play. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Winding around and sliding into second base. And the throw not in time. RBI double, a couple of them for DiClemente. And it's 14-5, Kitchener Panthers.
And, I'm partial to bottom of the order, middle infield guys, because that's what I was when I was, growing up playing little league when I was 9-10 years old. But, DiClemente has done everything well tonight. He's defended exceptionally well. He's put the ball in play a bunch. He's really done everything that you want to do. Everything you want from a 9-hole second baseman, he's done tonight. And good that he gets rewarded with a couple ribbies, I say, as a Maple Leafs broadcaster.
Yeah, and your debut as a Maple Leafs broadcaster as well. It's been awesome having you on, getting the insight. It's usually just me sitting here with my laptop and my bunch of cameras, and it's nice to have another voice on the broadcast. Just inside.
First IBL broadcast for me since the year 2012. I was 16 years old doing Ottawa Fat Cats games.
I was 12 years old in 2012, so I wasn't doing much of anything. Actually, I was playing baseball in 2012.
It's a pretty good thing to be doing.
Yeah. All 4 heading down to first base is Jacqueline.
This is the top half in a meaningless 9th inning that really just isn't going to end, Thomas. This is, in baseball, there's half innings that drag, and this is one of them. Adam Mara just needs an out or two. Just needs an out.
Just one.
Just one. And it's been a while.
There for strike 1. Oh, correction, that was Leader going down to first base. Now it's Keegan Marsden. Strike 2.
Marsden, not a huge fan of that call on the outer half, but at this point, up 7. I think the umpire's trying to shuffle this one along as well.
Swinging a ball fouled right into the Kitchener Panther dugout. Count remains 0-2 to Marsden.
Bit of a disappointing night for the Toronto Maple Leafs, all things considered here, Thomas. They came in, first game of a doubleheader. They got to go to Kitchener tomorrow night.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Maple Leafs have one more shot, trailing 14-5 against the Kitchener Panthers. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning here at Dominico Field. Welcome back to Dominico Field. It's 14-5 for the Kitchener Panthers over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jose Vinicio in, leading off an inning for the fourth time. 4 of his 5 plate appearances right at the top of the order. So Coach Damon Topoli's lineup has worked out the way he structured it. Vinicio has a couple of singles right back up the middle today.
Just a really solid performance from the Kitchener Panthers. They came into this one with a 4-5 record, Thomas, and all things considered, I'm really impressed with what I've seen from this visiting team from Kitchener. It's a long bus trip in on the Rangers bus, and they've done everything well today. Their bullpen's been excellent. Their offense has fired on all cylinders, and the Leafs are going to be hard-pressed to win tomorrow night in Kitchener. That's going to be a serious battle for them.
Yeah, we'll see who they have on the mound. Diego Domingo started this game, and he looked really good early on. We know he has great stuff, but it just wasn't quite his day. 2 strikes on Jose Vinicio here.
You got to think, though, this Kitchener team, they got a couple imports here, assuming that they're still looking to add through the summer, maybe a cut or 2 from indie ball. This could be a competitive baseball team.
Hit on the ground, Keegan Marsden will take it himself, 1 away.
Yeah, and again, another at-bat with not great contact from Vinicio, and I know he's been out of baseball for a number of years. He's still getting back into the swing of things, but he's got to start picking it up with the bat here a little bit. Again, if he does want to make it to that next level, 2 for 5, I believe, on the day now. So his average is going to come up a bit, going to float towards the Mendoza line now, but going to be tough sledding.
Justin Mara, the batter, had a 2-run home run in his last at-bat. There have been some great performances tonight. We're player of the game, and that one's going to go to a guy behind the plate who caught a great game and cashed in some runs as well.
Yeah, Simon Grinberg, the hometown guy, with a serious outing. 3 for 5 with 4 ribbies, 2 runs himself, and a walk, as the Bishop Parish Community College transferred over from Crowder College, and he's currently hitting .568 on the season. That's a serious average, and a catcher that Kitchener's going to rely on throughout the rest of this IBL season.
How about getting that kind of production from the guy behind the plate as well? The Maple Leafs have a guy similar to that. We've seen the 2-run home run today from Justin Mara.
Nice to see a hometown guy getting the job done, too. IBL teams often, you see guys from Mississauga, Richmond Hill sprinkled across the league. And when a guy from his hometown can contribute on a nightly basis, it's always nice for the organization.
High chopper to second base. On the ground, a play to first. D. Clemente fields it. And now there's 2 away.
There's Kenny. Just steady there at second base tonight.
The three hitter and center fielder tonight. Jordan Castaldo steps to the plate. Had a home run back in the 4th inning to dead center field. Maple Leafs down to their last out in a 14-6 ball game. Saying 14-5 before. 14-6.
Tough to keep track when there's 20 runs and a couple homers and all sorts of entertainment tonight here at Christie Pitts.
The Leafs won 14-0 against the Brantford Red Sox last game. Here's a ball hit on the ground to first base. That one's going to squeak through from Jordan Castaldo. He's aboard with a 2-out base hit.
Massive cheer from the Bushmen. Don't call it a comeback, but here come the Leafs.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's calling it a comeback here. John Salazzo steps to the plate. 2 away in the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-run lead for the Kitchener Panthers, who really showed up with the bats tonight. Had some good pitching performance as well. The Maple Leafs got their hits tonight. Man, they had 12 hits. They have 6 runs on 12 hits, but Panthers were efficient with the way they did it. 14 runs on 14 hits.
Yeah, not the best pitching.
Hitting too.
Not the best pitching display tonight from either team, but a couple Panthers relievers had pretty good nights, and all things considered, they got a little bit more out of their starter as well, Douglas, as that pitch gets away from Grinberg. Not sure it does much at this point in the ball game, but the Bushmen are loving it.
Grant Shantz has had a good outing as well. Just allowed the 2 hits and trying to complete his 2nd inning of work. Douglas started things off, went 5 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Struck out 4 as well. Then we saw Stoddart, who gave up 2 runs in 2 innings, and now Chance.
Yeah, tough night, all things considered, for the Leafs, and they're going to have to bounce back quick tomorrow night.
Here's a ground ball, and to who else? It's DiClemente at second base, makes a nice play on to first, and the Kitchener Panthers win 14-6 against the hometown Toronto Maple Leafs in what was a bit of a forgettable outing for the Maple Leafs when it came to being on the mound, but they will look to bounce back against the Kitchener Panthers in their next game. From Thomas West and Carlos Verde here at Dominico Field. Awesome having you on the broadcast tonight, Carlos. And we will see you next time on Sunday for the Toronto Maple Leafs.